Never eat blueberries with these three foods. It can cause serious health problems. Introduction. Blueberries, superfood or silent risk. Blueberries are often hailed as one of the healthiest fruits on the planet. Rich in antioxidants, high in fiber, low in calories, and packed with vitamins like C and K, they seem like the perfect snack. In fact, many doctors and nutritionists recommend seniors add blueberries to their diets regularly to fight inflammation, boost cognitive function, and even support heart health. But what if I told you that blueberries, yes, those tiny blue health bombs, can actually become harmful when eaten with the wrong foods? It might sound shocking, but food interactions are real, and they can have significant effects on your health, especially as we age. Our digestive systems slow down, our medication lists grow longer, and certain nutrients begin to affect us differently. The truth is, some food combinations that seem harmless can interfere with digestion, nutrient absorption, blood sugar regulation, and even medication effectiveness. And blueberries, as beneficial as they are no exception. In today's video, we're uncovering a truth that isn't often discussed. 3 specific foods that should never be eaten with blueberries. These aren't obscure or exotic foods. In fact, they're commonly found in the diets of many older adults. But when combined with blueberries, they can create a storm of digestive discomfort, unstable blood sugar levels, or even compromise your heart health. You might think you're eating healthy, but without understanding these combinations, you could be sabotaging your wellness goals without realizing it. But don't worry, this video isn't about scaring you away from eating blueberries. On the contrary, we'll also show you the right way to enjoy them, how to pair them with foods that enhance their benefits, and what to avoid to stay safe. Whether you eat blueberries fresh, dried, in smoothies, or baked into muffins, this information could dramatically shift the way you look at this beloved fruit. So if you're over 60, concerned about your diet, or simply want to feel better and live longer, make sure you stick around. You'll not only learn which combinations to avoid, but also gain practical tips to protect your health, starting with your very next meal. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up in Section 2. Let's dive in. The hidden danger of mixing blueberries with dairy products. Blueberries and dairy, it sounds like a match made in heaven, right? A bowl of Greek yogurt topped with fresh blueberries, or a smoothie blending milk, blueberries, and a banana. It's delicious, refreshing, and commonly found on the breakfast tables of many seniors trying to eat healthy. But here's the hidden truth. This combination may not be doing your body any favors. In fact, it could be quietly robbing you of the very nutrients that make blueberries a superfood in the first place. Let's start with the science. Blueberries are loaded with antioxidants, especially a group called anthocyanins. They're what give blueberries their deep blue-purple color and incredible health benefits. These compounds help fight oxidative stress, support brain health, and protect your heart. However, when you mix blueberries with dairy, such as milk or yogurt, something unfortunate happens. The proteins in dairy, particularly casein, can bind to these antioxidants, reducing their bioavailability. That means your body can't absorb and use them effectively. One notable study from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that adding milk to blueberries significantly reduced the antioxidant activity in the body after consumption. That means if you're combining the two regularly, say every morning in a smoothie or parfait, you might not be getting the full anti-aging, anti-inflammatory effects you think you are. This is especially important for older adults. As we age, our cells become more vulnerable to damage from free radicals. That's why antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries are recommended. They help neutralize those free radicals. But if you unknowingly neutralize the power of blueberries with dairy, you may be undermining your health goals, especially when it comes to reducing inflammation, improving cognitive performance, and supporting heart health. Now, we're not saying you can never eat yogurt or milk again. The key is to time your consumption. If you love blueberries in your diet, try eating them with non-dairy options like oat milk, almond milk, or coconut yogurt. These plant-based alternatives don't contain casein and won't interfere with antioxidant absorption. Even better, combine blueberries with foods rich in vitamin C, like citrus or kiwi, which can actually enhance nutrient uptake. So while your blueberry yogurt bowl may look innocent, even virtuous, it might be doing less for your health than you think. Swap out that dairy, and you'll start unlocking the true power of this mighty berry. Up next, we'll explore another dangerous duo, blueberries and high-iron foods. This one is especially critical if you're managing blood pressure or cholesterol levels. Stay with us. Why you shouldn't combine blueberries with high-iron foods. Blueberries are often seen as the golden child of fruits, and for good reason. They're low in calories, high in nutrients, and packed with antioxidants that support everything from brain health to immune function. But what if I told you that eating blueberries with certain high-iron foods could reduce their effectiveness, and worse, cause unintended health problems? That's the shocking truth many seniors aren't aware of. Let's start with a bit of background. Blueberries are high in compounds called polyphenols. These include tannins and flavonoids, antioxidants that are incredibly powerful in fighting cellular damage. However, one of their lesser-known effects is that they can interfere with iron absorption, especially when eaten alongside iron-rich foods like red meat, spinach, lentils, and fortified cereals. Why does this matter? Because iron is an essential mineral, especially in later life. It supports oxygen transport in the blood, keeps your energy levels up, and strengthens your immune system. But here's the twist. Too much iron can be just as harmful as too little. In fact, excessive iron accumulation has been linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, and even a higher risk of chronic conditions like heart disease and Alzheimer's. Now, here's where it gets tricky. If you're taking iron supplements or eating a lot of iron-rich foods and pair them with blueberries, the polyphenols in the berries can bind to the iron in your digestive tract, making it harder for your body to absorb. This is particularly true for non-heme iron, the kind found in plant-based sources, which is already harder to absorb than the iron from animal sources. For seniors who are already struggling with low iron levels due to aging or chronic illnesses, this could lead to fatigue, dizziness, or anemia over time, even if you're eating all the right foods. And the flip side, for people who have too much iron in their system, such as those with hemochromatosis, a genetic condition that causes iron buildup, eating blueberries may actually be beneficial by helping limit iron absorption. But unless you've been diagnosed with that condition, this combination can become risky, especially if you're eating them together regularly. So, what's the solution? Timing and awareness. If you're consuming iron-rich meals or taking supplements, try eating your blueberries at a different time of day, maybe as a mid-morning snack, or in the evening with a handful of almonds. You'll get the full benefit of their antioxidants without interfering with your iron levels. Coming up, we'll talk about a surprising food that many think is healthy, but when combined with blueberries, can actually spike your blood sugar. Don't miss this next critical warning. The blood sugar spike. Avoid mixing blueberries with this healthy grain. We often hear about how blueberries are a superfood, great for your brain, your heart, and even your skin. But what we don't hear enough about is how the combination of blueberries with certain other healthy foods might actually sabotage those benefits. One food that seniors should be especially cautious about mixing with blueberries is granola. Yes, that seemingly innocent, crunchy cereal often labeled as wholesome and natural. Let's unpack why this combination can be problematic, especially for people over 60. Granola is commonly marketed as a health food, but the truth is that most store-bought granola is loaded with added sugars and refined carbs. Some brands contain more sugar per serving than a glazed donut. The problem becomes worse when you pair granola with naturally sweet fruits like blueberries. Though blueberries have a relatively low glycemic index, they still contain natural sugars, and when eaten with a high-carb, high-sugar base like granola, the result can be a massive blood sugar spike. Now, for a healthy adult, that might mean a little energy crash later in the day. But for seniors, especially those managing diabetes or insulin resistance, which becomes increasingly common after 60, that spike can be dangerous. Frequent blood sugar spikes and crashes can cause a range of issues: fatigue, dizziness, blurred vision, and over time even worsen insulin resistance or contribute to developing type 2 diabetes. Here's another layer to consider. Granola often contains dried fruits like raisins or cranberries, which are already concentrated sources of sugar. When you mix those with blueberries and perhaps drizzle some honey or syrup on top, as many people do. You're turning what should be a nutrient-rich meal into a sugar bomb that stresses your pancreas and disrupts your metabolic balance. Now, to be fair, not all granola is bad. There are homemade or low-sugar versions made with oats, nuts, and seeds that are actually quite nutritious. But even then, portion control is key. A half cup of granola can contain up to 300 calories, and when you add fruit, milk, or yogurt, that can quickly become a 600, 700 calorie breakfast. Far too much for many seniors trying to manage weight or blood sugar. So what should you do instead? If you love blueberries in the morning, try combining them with plain Greek yogurt or steel-cut oats, both of which have protein and fiber to slow digestion and keep blood sugar stable. Add a sprinkle of flax seeds or walnuts instead of sugary granola, and you'll have a breakfast that fuels your body without the crash. Blueberries and anticoagulants, a risky mix? Blueberries have a glowing reputation for being a superfood, packed with antioxidants, fiber, and vitamins. But did you know that if you're taking blood thinners, like warfarin or other anticoagulants, blueberries might do more harm than good? It's a lesser-known interaction, yet it's especially important for seniors who are more likely to be on these medications for heart conditions, blood clots, or stroke prevention. Let's start by understanding how anticoagulants work. Medications like warfarin, heparin, or even newer drugs like apixaban, Eliquis, and rivaroxaban, Xarelto, are prescribed to prevent your blood from clotting too easily. They're powerful drugs, but their effectiveness can be influenced, sometimes dramatically, by what you eat. Certain foods can either potentiate, increase, or inhibit the medication's effect, and blueberries fall into that complex equation. Blueberries contain vitamin K, though not in the extremely high levels found in leafy greens like spinach or kale. But when eaten frequently or in large quantities, the vitamin K in blueberries can reduce the effectiveness of your blood thinner. Vitamin K promotes blood clotting, which directly counteracts what these medications are trying to do. This means that your carefully balanced medication could suddenly become less effective, increasing your risk of developing dangerous blood clots. On the flip side, blueberries are also high in salicylates, natural compounds that act similarly to aspirin. They have a mild blood thinning effect of their own. So while vitamin K in blueberries may weaken your medication, the salicylates may intensify its effects, potentially leading to internal bleeding. That's a double-edged sword, and a very confusing one, especially when you're trying to make smart choices for your health. There's also the issue of consistency. Most healthcare providers don't say you have to completely avoid foods with vitamin K, including blueberries, but they emphasize the importance of eating them in consistent amounts. Suddenly adding a lot of blueberries to your diet or juicing them every day can throw off your medication balance. Seniors are particularly vulnerable here because even a small dietary change can cause noticeable health effects due to slower metabolism and other age-related changes. So what should you do if you're taking anticoagulants and love blueberries? First, talk to your doctor or pharmacist before making any dietary changes. Second, keep your intake moderate and steady. Don't binge on blueberries one week and cut them out the next. And lastly, if you notice unusual bruising, bleeding gums, or blood in your urine or stool, contact your doctor immediately. These may be signing your blood is too thin. How to safely enjoy blueberries, the smart way for seniors. Blueberries are often hailed as a superfood, and rightfully so. Packed with antioxidants like anthocyanins, rich in vitamin C and fiber, and low in calories, they seem like the perfect addition to any diet. But as we've now seen, not all food combinations are created equal, especially for those over 60. So how can seniors still enjoy the benefits of blueberries without falling into the traps of dangerous pairings or interactions? This section is all about safe, intentional ways to consume blueberries that truly support your health without hidden risks. Let's start with timing. One of the simplest strategies is to eat blueberries separately from other potentially reactive foods. For example, if you usually eat yogurt or milk in the morning, consider moving your blueberries to an afternoon snack, or include them in a meal without dairy. By avoiding simultaneous consumption, you minimize any potential reduction in antioxidant absorption or calcium interference. Next is preparation. Many people eat blueberries raw, which is excellent, but consider pairing them with fiber-rich plant-based options that enhance their effects instead of competing with them. A great example is oatmeal. Plain oats topped with fresh or frozen blueberries not only improve heart health, but also support digestion and help regulate blood sugar, something many seniors struggle with. Another excellent pairing is chia seeds, flax seeds, or even almond butter. These healthy fats and fiber work in harmony with the natural benefits of blueberries. Hydration is also a hidden key. Blueberries are about 85% water, and their fiber content needs fluid to be effective. Drinking a glass of water along with or shortly after eating blueberries can enhance digestion and keep things moving in your digestive tract. Seniors often suffer from mild dehydration, so this little tip can go a long way. And let's not forget about portion control. While blueberries are healthy, eating them by the cupful, especially if dried or sweetened, can still spike your sugar intake. For most seniors, a 1/2 to 1 cup serving of fresh or frozen unsweetened blueberries per day is optimal. This gives you all the benefits without overloading your system. Lastly, be mindful of medications. If you're on blood thinners, calcium supplements, or drugs that affect iron absorption, consult your doctor about the best timing for eating blueberries. This doesn't mean you have to avoid them, it just means being strategic. Eating them a few hours before or after taking your pills may be enough to prevent interference. In summary, blueberries can still be your ally in aging gracefully. The key is awareness and balance. By watching what you combine them with, how you prepare them, and when you consume them, you unlock all their healing potential, safely and confidently. Finally, the power of smart food pairing in your golden years. As we come to the close of this eye-opening journey into the surprising risks of combining blueberries with certain foods, one thing should now be crystal clear. Even the healthiest foods can become harmful when paired improperly, especially for those of us over 60. The truth is, aging bodies process nutrients, medications, and compounds differently. And while blueberries are often labeled as a superfood, that doesn't give them a free pass in every situation. We've talked about 3 major food groups that, when eaten with blueberries, could cause issues. From digestive trouble, to spikes in blood sugar, to even serious medication interference. Who would have thought that the innocent combination of blueberries and dairy could blunt the antioxidants we desperately need to fight aging? Or that pairing blueberries with iron-rich foods like spinach might actually make your iron less absorbable? These are things that nutrition labels don't tell you, and that most doctors won't even mention unless you ask the right questions. But now, you know. It's not about fearing food, it's about empowering yourself with the right knowledge to make the best choices, day by day, meal by meal. And as we've seen, smart food pairing isn't just a trendy idea. It's a vital strategy that can improve your energy, enhance your digestion, protect your heart, and make sure your medications do their job without interference. The biggest takeaway? Blueberries are still incredibly healthy, but context matters. What you eat with them changes how your body uses them. So take these small lessons and apply them. Maybe that means skipping the blueberry yogurt and opting for a plant-based smoothie, or swapping out that spinach blueberry salad for a better timed meal, or simply spacing out your blueberries from your daily medications. These might sound like tiny tweaks, but when it comes to your health in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, small changes make a big difference. Now, if you found this information helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Someone you care about, whether a parent, a neighbor, or even your spouse, might be unknowingly making these food mistakes. Share this video with them. Leave a comment below telling us your biggest surprise or question. We always reply to our community. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another health tip designed specifically for seniors. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and as always, stay vibrant in your golden years.